Hello and welcome to the Philippines. We are still dealing with the effects of Super Typhoon Mawar, which turned into a typhoon up on the northern end of Luzon Island, the northernmost island here in the Philippines. And we've had some issues. I'm going to give you a little look into a weather forecaster that does real good work, talk a little bit about some issues we're having with water. Too much water, not enough water. Had this notice a couple days ago. As a matter of fact, we don't have any water today. I was told there was on the 10th floor there was some sort of explosion. I think they meant a burst pipe probably, and they hope to fix it today. So no water starting like about 7 o'clock last night. No water, and here this morning. So 12 hours with no water. I do keep a supply. I do keep a pretty good supply. So anyway, we would like to inform you that last May 10th, we delivered 10 truck of potable water. Potable water is apparently drinkable water, but we don't drink out of the tap. Water due to low pressure of MCWD here in Cebu City. I think that's Metro Cebu Water District, I think. Source of potable water. The water delivered can supply 2 days. Potable water cost 40,000 pesos. Note, this May to June, the water supply of MCWD is low pressure due to sunny weather. Kind of a simplified explanation. When it's sunny, we don't have pressure. That's not quite how it works, but anyway, in my video yesterday talking about the effects, the enhanced monsoon that we're feeling, the high winds and the breeze and some occasional rain showers. I've had to shut my windows a couple times. Anyway, this is the third day, cloudy, windy day here in Cebu City, Cebu, the Philippines, and it's going to go on for the couple more days apparently, and I'll give you a little look into that forecast by a professional, not me, by a professional here in a bit. Anyway, I was surprised yesterday to see ferries running. They might have gotten the green light to go out there, and several of them went out within an hour or two, and that's not unusual. That's not unusual, but I don't know. Maybe they got the green light. Maybe the winds went down a little bit. Anyway, you may be able to see this light ferry bobbing around out there in the waves. So they're getting their money's worth. They're getting their money's worth. I've been on a couple of ferries in rough seas, and it didn't bother me, but there were people getting sick. People were handing out the barf bags, the vomit bags. So this typhoon is moving very, very slowly. It turns out it's one of the strongest on record for May, for the month of May. And I'll give you some information on that a little bit later. But it has been very slow moving, so it's affecting much of the Philippines, even down to Mindanao and down here in the Visayas. Even though the typhoon was a super typhoon, moved up to east and north of on the north side of the Philippines, and still having major effect. And drawing what it's doing in the next couple of days, it's drawing a lot of rain and wind in from the southwest, opposite end basically of the Philippines, and there are areas that are going to get some heavy rains, mostly along the western coast of some of the islands. These types of things are pretty difficult to accurately forecast, and they change by the hour, by the day, of course. So we'll just have to wait and see. But getting back to water, water is an issue in the Philippines. It's an issue all over the world, obviously. Too much water, not enough water. And, 2015, during our rainy season, when I came here, we had a drought. Very little water. 2019, there was a drought. There were many wells. They got shallow wells, they got deep wells here and they got a reservoir or two here in Cebu province. And a lot of the shallow wells were running out of water. The water trucks were delivering to the various villages, barangays here in the city. And I've had taxi drivers tell me they had to get up at 2 in the morning and go line up with their pails, containers, waiting for a truck at 3 in the morning, and sometimes the water truck would not arrive even after they had prepared. So those are issues. Took a trip over to Bohol in 2019, late 2019. We're going to stay a couple different places that we don't have any water. They were hauling seawater up. If you want to take a shower, you could shower or take a bath, I guess, pour water over yourself in seawater. And I thought, well, that's not really what I wanted to do. I asked them if I could get a discount. Maybe they could talk. Maybe they could make me an offer I couldn't refuse. They said, no, no discount. No water and no discount. That's the way it is. Now, there are plans to build several desalination plants, I think Cebu province, and one over on Bohol at least. But that does not solve the immediate problem. Those are issues, and as long as they get built and are up and operational and do not lose their power, for instance, so they don't operate. If a typhoon knocks out their power and they're not able to supply power or supply water when it's most needed. Those kind of issues you need to plan around. Anyway, be sure to keep a decent supply of water around. You can get these 5-gallon jugs, and I usually have about 6 of them at any given time. I've got about 3 of them full. And under the present situation where we're having some water issues, every time I got 2 empty, I take those 2 down instead of waiting for the 3rd one. That gives me probably 4 weeks if I am real careful with it, about 1 5-gallon per week. But food also. Stock up on the things you need: batteries, flashlights, candles, a solar unit. I'll do another video about what you should have here to survive comfortably. Anyway, let me get into this weather forecaster, Robert Speta, and a little bit of his information. Westpac weather, basically. Westpac, and then WX is his website. And I'll put a link to his site in the description of this video.
Typhoon Betty, of course known as Mawar internationally, continuing to swirl up the northeast coast of Luzon. We have been seeing some reports of damage out here, even a warehouse being knocked down in the Santa Ana area, which is about as close as you can get to the storm system in far northeastern Luzon. The Batanes Islands also under signal force 2 at this time, and still seeing that inflow with showers, which are going to start to add up over the next few days. There's actually the video of that warehouse falling down. You can see it right there from the storm system. It's well off towards the east. We have a big wind field, so we're seeing those tropical storm strength conditions extend out. But for a lot of you, especially if you're in a sheltered area in some of these valleys, you're probably not going to be seeing as much as far as those sustained typhoon-type conditions. That drier inflow is going to create some nice weather, and then once the storm passes on by, we're going to get the backside, that inflow as it moves towards the north. The big issue continues to be that threat of rainfall. And I know for a lot of you, you're thinking, where's the rain? It's coming. You got to remember, the winds are coming in from the north right now if you're out here on the west coast. So if it's coming in from the north, you're not getting that inflow. It has to get a little bit further towards the north here so the wind and that inflow can come in from the southwest, and that's where we're going to start to see that enhanced monsoonal flow, because it's that tail, it's that funnel that we're really worried about, not the direct influence from our storm. Look at this though, Mawar hit 50.9 on the ACE. This is the accumulated cyclone index, and for the entire month of May, basically has put out the most energy out of any tropical system in the month of May in the Western Pacific, because it's been moving so slow. It's had that fierce intensity for so long. Just so much energy out of here being picked up as this moves across those warm waters of the Philippines. Taking a look at the forecast Thursday and the Friday, pulling towards the north. There's that tail I'm talking about. So places like Mindoro, probably going to see the heaviest rain there. Manila, not so much, but you are going to get those showers. And also over towards Region 1, especially on Wednesday, over towards Thursday, that inflow that continues to run up there with those scattered showers.
So there you go. Robert Speda puts out some really good and almost daily information on forecasts in the West Pacific. Oftentimes focusing in on the Philippines, but also other Southeast Asian areas. I think he worked out of Okinawa for a while and Japan for a while. Did some work with the Navy forecasting things out here. I believe, if I heard correctly. Anyway, he's got quite a number of educational videos on his channel, worth checking out. Westpac Weather, Westpac, WESTPACWX, and anyway, I'll put a link to that in the description of the video. Stay safe out there and prepare the best you can for any types of emergencies, and I'll see you next time.